of North Carolina. Back to you.
All right, Morgan, thanks very much for that. Steve, what are voters telling you this morning?
Well, Ali, it's been about 24 hours since we last spoke. I haven't slept since then, but just hot off the presses, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Trump wins. You see in this state, yeah, just came out. So we're seeing now, what we talked about 24 hours ago, those collar counties, Bucks, Montgomery, Chester, these counties tend to go, and they tend to be taken by the presidential candidate who sweeps the state. So generally, if you win these 4 counties outside of suburban Philadelphia, you typically, since 1980, you win the state. Clinton won the counties. She won Pittsburgh. She won Philadelphia. She wins those counties. She wins basically the edges of Pennsylvania, but she still loses. I think a lot of Republican strategists and people here are saying she did not account for what the county and the country went through with this revolution that Donald Trump seized on. And so we're just talking to people here at a diner. It's about 5:30 in the morning, talking to folks. And Sir Peter Erskine, how do you feel?
I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. do you feel? Were you in support? Were you happy to hear Trump win?
I was in support of the democratic process, and I will certainly be able to listen to what Mr. Trump has to say. I certainly hope he modifies some of his approaches to public speaking when he gets to the White House. He certainly was pretty coarse sometimes.
So it's just the public speaking that upsets you? It's not the rhetoric about deportation, wall,
I think
women.
Well, he was pretty harsh on women. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Pretty harsh on women, and I think there's a lot of us feel that the idea of having a legal means to get to citizenship is a good thing. The question is, how do you do that without getting rid of everybody? As he said, he wanted to do is deport everybody who was an illegal alien. That's pretty hard if there's 11 million. I don't see how you're going to do it.
Very hard.
I don't see how you're going to do it.
Do you think he has the temperament to bring this country together?
Well, I don't know. He certainly was. I just heard a brief clip this morning when I woke up from his acceptance speech in New York, and he certainly had a different tone. But whether that will last as he gets into a position of power, and whether he really will modify his approach to the other side and allow what will now be a loyal Democratic opposition. I hope. Whether he will modify his speech and not listen to them, that's a question. I don't know.
We shall see. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Right, okay.
Also, Pat Toomey, Republican senator, held his seat. That is another big victory for Republicans in this state and in this country. Back to you.
Steve, when we talked yesterday, I spend a lot of my time in one of those collar counties, in Montgomery County. Generally, Montgomery County, Philadelphia, which Hillary Clinton took by a landslide, Erie County, and Pittsburgh. That usually adds up to more than the rest of the state. So it was a real mystery to a lot of people in Pennsylvania how she lost Pennsylvania.
It does. In talking to the folks, and even Republican strategists on the ground here, they would admit that Clinton's ground game was significantly stronger than Donald Trump's ground game. When we were here 2 days ago, we saw people canvassing for Clinton, and the fact that bore out. So this is really a unique situation. Again, we haven't seen a win like this since the 80s.
All right, Steve, thanks a million, and thanks also to Morgan Radford.
Yeah.
All right, just yesterday, the big headline was the huge uptick in Latino turnout this morning. The headline is that regardless of that turnout, the country has just elected Donald Trump as president. 65% of Hispanic voters chose Hillary Clinton. 88% of this year's African-American voters chose Hillary Clinton.